This is Michelle with Living Well with Michelle, and today we're going to talk about reasons to get into yoga. So, for a lot of people, some people it just seems very intuitive to get into yoga, other people not so much. And sometimes it's hard to understand, there's people that don't really find a calling to yoga, they don't quite understand that even they can benefit from yoga. In fact, most people can benefit from yoga. So today we're going to talk about 5 things that your body's trying to tell you to get you to do yoga. So number one, and this one is a little bit more personal to me because I think when I first started, I was always thinking of yoga is for people who are flexible, people who can do all sorts of things already, and they just do yoga because it makes them feel awesome because they can already do it. Well, not really. So even when I was a child, could never touch my toes. And that was a huge thing for me. I know it sounds so silly now, but when I was a child, it was a huge thing for me because, in gym class, they do the stretches before the activity, and everybody was sitting there touching their toes, and I'm sitting there like 7 years old, not even able to touch their toes. And that was me up until about like 2 weeks ago, or not 2 weeks ago, like a couple months ago when I really started doing, yoga every single day and falling in love with it. I found that just after, a couple months of yoga, I was able to touch my toes and do awesome. So that was really, really huge for me. I think one of the biggest things that stopped me from going into yoga was the fact that I couldn't touch my toes. And I realized and I learned that touching your toes is your body's way of saying, look, I'm not flexible. My muscles can't do what it needs to do. And I need that. It's, that's a natural way. Most human beings, if you're, stretching your body enough, can stretch into those poses. So not being able to touch your toes or do a certain pose right now doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be able to. That's what yoga is here for. It's to make you more flexible, make your muscles work with your body, and just become in union with your body and understand it and be able to get your body to do whatever it is you want with it. So that was a huge one for me. I apologize if I'm kind of looking away. I've got a little cheat sheet up as to what I'm doing this post. Another one, if you're feeling tired all the time. If you feel tired all the time, that's your body's way of telling you you need something else going on. And for a lot of people, it's exercise. Exercise is fantastic. But some people, especially if you have an injury or you have if exercise is a little too intensive for you, maybe you're older, whatever the case may be, if you're not able to do traditional exercises, yoga offers a very nice alternative to it because yoga can be done in so many different styles and forms. It can be for almost anybody. Almost everybody can take advantage of yoga. So it doesn't matter what your level is. Doing yoga, dedicating some time to yoga every single day will increase your energy, will give you a little bit more vitality, help you, feel a bit better, and definitely will help you out in the long run there. Another one is posture. So when you're stretching your body and toning your body, it's helping your body stay the way that posture should be. Most of us nowadays, especially if you're working in an office, you're hunched over like this all day. When I'm at the office, it's like I'm sitting there like trying to figure out what to do. That's not good for you. It's horrible. You're hurting your neck. You're going to end up with a big hump in your back. Your shoulders are coming forward, which is strength, compressing all this area when you're breathing, which is, of course, raising your pelvic floor. So now you're going to end up with like one of those anterior pelvic tilts, which is going to throw off your legs and your feet. And then you're going to end up with a knee injury, So or a back injury. Most people I work with have back pain, and that's why. It's because we're sitting there hunched over like this. You're, sitting all day, which is compressing those nerves. It's not good for you. It's not good for you at all. So doing yoga every single day will allow your body to stretch everything out, which is, typically sitting like this, allows it to kind of stretch out, open up, breathe. Some of these, a lot of the poses, when you hold them, it's building and strengthening, and that's what yoga is for. And so when you're strengthening the body, it's more natural for it to be able to, it can actually hold itself up correctly. So when you're sitting at a desk like this, it doesn't feel like a strain. It doesn't feel like you're trying to hold yourself up. Your body is naturally doing it. So it does become easier as time goes on, but it is necessary. If you don't want to have headaches, if you don't want to have back pain, if you don't want to have knees popping out, if you don't want to have foot problems, it's all connected. Stress is a huge one. A lot of times, especially at the workplace, it's like, oh, I have to get these done in time. I have to do this, I have to do that. One of the great things about yoga is it can be used as a form of meditation. while you're doing yoga, you're focusing on your body. You're not thinking about what happened yesterday. You're not thinking about what you have to do tomorrow. You're sitting there thinking, I have to hold this for another 30 seconds to beat yesterday. I have to hold this. Oh, look how much deeper I'm getting into this stretch. Look at, what I'm able to do. Yesterday, I couldn't do this pose. Today, I am. You're thinking about your body. You're thinking about your breathing. If a pose is getting difficult, your breathing might increase a little bit to try to get through it. You're focusing on all those things. You're starting to sweat. You got to, that kind of thing. So when you're doing yoga, more often than not, it's a form of meditation because you're focusing on your body and you're focusing on the present moment. It's a practice of mindfulness. So that can definitely help with managing stress later on. And last but not least, we'll discuss joint pain. And the reason I'm bringing up joint pain is because yoga is so accessible to so many different types of people. It's huge, especially like with elderly people who can't do traditional exercises. Yoga allows them to perform some sort of exercises and still keep some sort of movement and vitality in their life. Especially if maybe somebody had an injury. Somebody who's got a knee that's popping out can't necessarily go running to lose weight. They can't, do all those things to lose weight, can't do jumping jacks, things like that. Yoga will offer a better alternative for them. And there's so many different styles of yoga that you can use any of them. There's yoga called restorative yoga. And essentially that one is so slow and they've got things that prop you up. And the idea is to align your body correctly through very slow, gentle poses. And so that can be huge for people who are not able to move a little bit quicker or, have those issues. So there are so many different types of yoga out there that it can fit into anybody's needs and anybody's expectations. So yoga is a great thing to do if you can't touch your toes, if you're tired all the time, if you've got poor posture, difficulty handling stress or any sort of joint pain. Yoga has been proven to help all of these different things, and you don't have to be, a wizard to get into it. I know for me personally, I don't like to try new things in front of other people. So for me, I didn't want to go to a yoga studio to do that. I wanted more of like a one-on-one kind of thing. I wanted to be with one person because, especially if I can't even touch my toes, I don't want to be in a yoga studio surrounded by people who can. To me, that's embarrassing. So you can do a one-on-one. There's a lot of yoga instructors out there who will do a one-on-one. You can, on YouTube, there's so many different online resources to help incorporate yoga into your life. So you can do that as well. Whatever it is that works for you, make sure you're taking advantage of yoga because it is a way to connect with your body and be able to stop all these things from potentially, becoming a long-term problem. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you subscribe below. I also have a link to the blog post that goes a little bit more in depth on this. And then, of course, visit my webpage, subscribe to that one as well so you keep getting updates and, you get included into special offers and promotions that we may be having in the future. Thank you so much. Have a great day.